Hey everyone, it's Ashley, and today I'm going to show you how to achieve a drugstore full face foundation routine. I'm going to cover color correcting, highlighting, contouring, setting, baking, and the whole nine. So let's go ahead and get started. The first product that I'm going to use is my Baby Skin Primer by Maybelline. This is their instant pore eraser. The primer is clear and it has silicone consistency. It's going to fill in any lines and it's going to just help make my skin look very smooth when I put product on over it. The next product that I'm going to use after priming would be my color corrector. This is by LA Girl Pro. This is their HD concealer in the shade Orange Corrector. Now this color corrector is basically like an orange salmon color, and it's going to cancel out the darkness of my dark spots and acne scars, hyperpigmentation, all of that. The reason that I personally color correct is it allows me to use less foundation, less concealer, because when you're using foundation and concealer, you're using it, for me in my case, to cover up my dark spots. So this is just going to give me more of an even canvas to work with. You're not going to see this when I do the rest of my makeup, but it just gives my skin a little bit more balance. Now you don't have to go in with too much of this product. A little bit does go a long way. If you use too much, your skin will appear orange underneath your foundation and concealer. So you want to use just enough. And I don't swipe this product, I just pat. So the foundation that I'm going to be using today is my Black Opal True Color Pore Perfecting Liquid Foundation. This is in the shade Nutmeg. I really love this Black Opal foundation. It's medium to full coverage, very buildable, and it just gives me the coverage and the finish that I personally like for my foundation. And again, I'm using a damp Miracle complexion sponge, and I'm just patting this all over my skin. You want to make sure that you blend right above your brows, and you also want to blend down your neck. Now Nutmeg is a little warm for me, however when I go into highlight and contour, everything balances out and you can't really tell. But Truly Topaz, the color that I was using before Nutmeg, is too light for me now. So if I wanted to, I could mix them both together to get the perfect shade. Now that my foundation is on, I'm going to take my LA Girl Pro HD Concealer in the shade Medium Beige, and I like to apply this in a specific way. I squeeze a little bit out onto my ring finger. I take my Miracle complexion sponge, the other side that I didn't use for my foundation, and I just tap that product on my Miracle complexion sponge and then tap that product underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose and onto my forehead. And then I just blend. The reason that I like to use these damp sponges is because it soaks up the product because of the water that's in the sponge, and then it allows me to just use the perfect amount of product. So I'm not putting too much on my face, and I'm not applying the product directly on my face. I'm applying whatever is left in the sponge onto my face. The first time I made a foundation video, I just applied the product straight to my face, and it was way too much. But now I can really control the amount of product, and the more I blend, the more product is soaked into my sponge. So that's why up until this point I haven't used any brushes. So I place the foundation all over my face, and then I place the lighter shade, the concealer, which is Medium Beige by LA Girl, which is my highlight shade. I place that underneath my eyes. A tip to prevent creasing underneath your eyes is to avoid putting product right underneath your eye. Notice I started placing the product right here as opposed to looking up and packing it on underneath my eyes. One, I already have eyeshadow under there, but two, that is just a good way to prevent creasing. The less product you have underneath there, the less product can crease underneath there because there's nothing there. And then I place it on my dark under eye circle. I've already color corrected and added foundation, so that is how I cover the darkness underneath my eyes. Color correcting, foundation, and then just adding concealer on top of it. It sounds like a lot, but these sponges really disperse the product, so it's not that much. Now I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Beautiful Bronze, and I'm going to carve out my nose just a little bit more. So I like to kind of create a C shape, just using, I didn't squeeze on the tube or anything, I just used just a tiny bit of this product. It's up to you if you want to use your Miracle Complexion sponge and just blend that out with your sponge, or you can use a clean eyeshadow brush. Now I'm going to take Beautiful Bronze by Black Opal. This is their True Color Cream Stick Foundation, and I'm just going to, it's kind of dirty because I use it every time I wear makeup. I'm going to use it to bronze up my face. This could also be considered a contour. So where the top of my ears are, I'm going to bring this down to about the middle of my cheek on either side, and then I like to do 3 to 4 lines around my temple. And then I like to blend this out using this Real Techniques sculpting brush. So I have all my cream products on my face, so now I'm just going to go through and just pat everything. This is going to absorb any excess product and just really make sure everything is smooth. Because now it's time for me to set my face. So now I'm going to take my NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation. It looks like this and is in the shade Caramel. And I'm taking my Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm going to start by setting my Pro Concealer that was in the shade Medium Beige. The reason I like to set my under eyes with a powder foundation and bake underneath my eyes is because, like I said, I have under eye circles, and setting it with this powder foundation just ensures that my powder doesn't move. And it also just gives me a very flawless finish that I like. It's really good for flash photography. That's pretty much mostly why I do it, because I do take pictures a lot for YouTube, and it looks good when I'm recording videos as well. So I do have like a 2-step powder process. It's a step that can be omitted. You can set with this powder and omit baking or cooking your face with this powder, or you can cook or bake with this powder and omit setting with this powder. It's really up to you. I suggest just trying it. I personally just like the way that it looks more so than have a specific reason for why I do it. Now I'm going to take this 250 Coastal Scents blending brush and my e.l.f. bronzing blush and bronzing powder duo in Antigua, and I'm going to run this powder over the LA Girl concealer. So I just want to run this on either side of my nose. This is just going to make sure that none of my cream products budge. This is the L02 from Cicero Beauty, and I'm going to dip into the same blush and bronzing duo from e.l.f. and I'm just going to swirl my brush over that Black Opal cream product. So I'm not really contouring as much as I'm just using this product to set that cream. I'm doing the same thing on my forehead. Okay, now I'm going to take my Sacha Buttercup powder and my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge, and I'm going to dip the sponge into this powder. This is a loose setting powder with a yellow undertone. And I'm going to pat this powder right underneath my eyes. And you really want to press this powder into your under eyes. The reason being, you want this powder to mattify the powder that you placed underneath. And if you didn't place any powder underneath, you tried it and it didn't work for you, that's perfectly fine. You want to bake this powder so that it sets any liquid or creams that you used. If you want to do a more full coverage sculpted look, you can clean up right underneath that bronzer. Really carve out that bronzer by placing the product underneath it, like so. So when it comes to cooking or baking, you can leave this on for as long as you desire. I would suggest 5 minutes starting off. Typically for me, I like to leave it on while I do my eye makeup, but as you can tell, my eye makeup is already done. So just for the sake of this video, I'll go ahead and take it off now. I like to go in with the same powder with my with my Real Techniques setting brush and just pat. I don't really like to sweep if I'm working underneath my eyes, because I find that my under eyes, I tend to sweep away. If I sweep, I'll sweep away the product and reveal some of the darkness under there. So just as precautionary measures, I don't sweep directly underneath my eyes. But once I get a little further down, like by my nose, by my cheek, then I can sweep there. Now that my face is set, I'm going to move on to adding a little bit of color back. So this is my Be a Bombshell blush in the shade Fetch. This is kind of a corally orange color. It looks really, really good on my skin tone. It's not too much color. It does give me what I like to consider kind of a natural flush. So I'll add that to the apples of my cheeks. And the apples of my cheeks is like when I smile, the parts that kind of puff out. You can add that to like the tip of your nose if you want to look a little bit more lively, and then a little bit on your forehead, kind of where your contour is or your bronzer is, if you want to just have a little bit of color and life to your face. Now I'm going in with my favorite product at this moment, and this is my Ruby Kisses All Over Glow bronzing powder. This is in the shade Bronze Glow. I got this from my local beauty supply store, but just look it up on Google, Amazon, eBay, Ruby Kisses Bronze Glow. And I'm using this Cicero Beauty fan brush. This is the L01 brush, and I'm just taking this vitamin C beauty elixir from Banish. You can use glycerin, eye drops, rose water, elf setting spray, any type of setting spray. You can even use a little bit of water just to dampen your brush, and I just tap my brush into the product, just kind of sweeping it downwards, fan it off just a little bit, and then I go right above that blush and just work my fan brush downwards, sweeping it back and forth. So right on top of my cheeks is where I apply this highlighter. And as you can see, it adds just a really healthy glow to my skin. I like to also add some to the tip of my nose and then around the perimeter of my forehead, kind of right here in the center. The last thing I want to do is take my Real Techniques blush brush. This is the blush brush, right? The word's rubbed off, but I think it's the blush brush. And this is my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation Powder in the color Classic Tan. And I'm going to just run this everywhere that I put my foundation. And you can even run it all over your face because this brush is just so big and fluffy that it just blends everything out and makes sure everything is just really blended together. And if you wanted to, this is optional, something I do sometimes, you can take a darker powder. This is the Stay Matte But Not Flat powder in Cocoa with this kind of, this is a Cicero L04 brush. It's just kind of a flat top brush, and you can press that right into the hollows of your cheeks to darken up that bronzer and give you more of a sculpted look. Okay, so I've gone on and put my lipstick on. I put on, let's see, this is the Clean Colors Retractable Waterproof Eyeliner in the shade Toast. I put the NYX Butter Lipstick in Sugar Wafer and topped it off with the NYX Gloss in Whipped Fruit. This is my full face foundation routine using all drugstore products, all affordable products. I will leave all of the products I use in the description box down below. Make sure you leave me any comments or questions and I'll be sure to answer them. And I hope you guys found this really helpful, really informative. I kind of wanted to go through it as a talk through, but just in depth enough for you guys to at least be able to start practicing. I will say that this did not happen for me overnight. This is a routine that I have perfected over and over and over and over, and I'm still working to perfect it, still purchasing new products to incorporate into my routine. So there's never a time where an MUA or YouTuber or whatever, someone who is a makeup enthusiast will say that they have found something that works for them and they'll never try anything else. So always know that a routine is never set in stone. This is just a routine for right now. I could change the whole thing tomorrow, but for right now, this is what I like, and I just wanted to share this with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, stay beautiful. I love you. Bye. Mwah.